This week on Supercars Talk, Glenn's come to join me in the shed, and we're going to fix the problems with qualifying. So, Supercars, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to put knockout qualifying events or knockout qualifying at all events this year except for Melbourne and Bathurst. And then we're going to have a top 10 shootout at a total of 8 events as well, which I don't think that's a great idea, because the top 10 shootout to me is something special that is kind of reserved for Bathurst. So if it was included at a couple of other events, like we can't say Sandown anymore because of the Bend next year, which is another great decision. Someone's paying a lot of money for that one, I think. It's going to be a shit boring race, isn't it?
It's not much of a... I mean, it's a good facility.
Oh, the facility's fantastic, but that's the same as Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
like, fantastic facility, but...
in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, and Jesus Christ, is the race... The only good race there was the one where Hamilton was having a cry because Rosberg was going to win the championship, and he backed them all up. And then the interesting thing was watching whether... it was the Ferraris behind. Yeah. Whether the Ferraris were going to bother overtaking or whether they just wanted to shaft Hamilton. Yeah. So I think we all remember how that turned out.
I think the only decent race at the Bend has been TCR.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I did watch that one actually. Yeah, there was a bit of crashing and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
I still haven't watched most of the rounds. It's sat on the recorder, ready to go. But unfortunately, I've been busy doing this and stuff and catching up on YouTube before I watch TCR. That's probably something. Bathurst 12 Hours coming up in a couple of weeks as well. That's something else that's going to take over Supercars apparently. So people care about that for one weekend a year. You know, obviously.
A lot of investment in the Bathurst 12 Hour. I mean, it's a huge. A lot of teams come from overseas. Yeah, massive. It is a massive event
with expensive cars too.
Absolutely,
very expensive.
Yeah.
So, actually, costs more than what a supercar does.
No doubt.
Anyway, back to qualifying.
So in essence, qualifying's gone to shit in the last 5 years.
Well, I think because it's a bit, they're trying all this to jumble up the grid, because.
Triple Eight, then
you essentially we have a better race if Scott McLaughlin doesn't. We can't blame it on Scott McLaughlin because he's got a good record of qualifying on pole and then dropping back to like 5th. We call it doing a Weber, and dropping back to say 5th and then racing back to the front. Whereas I think Whincup really destroyed it because he'd qualify on pole every day and just
finish first.
Yeah, have an awesome start and just drive into the distance and then somebody came second each time. But they're trying to jumble up the grid, which is this knockout qualifying, which if you watch Foxtel, we get to listen to Jess, say about how great a job Scafey does explaining the complicated system every time. Like, it's, we've lived with it for 2 years now.
Obviously now the cars are more reliable.
Yeah, no one blows up.
No. Yeah. So back in the day, there was more chance of action.
Yeah. It was always good when Cedo dropped a piston or whatever at the end of Bathurst.
But, obviously the cars being more reliable now means that the races are a bit boring. It's a bit Formula One-esque.
Yeah, well, you don't. You get Whincup or McLaughlin blasting off into the distance and, no one breaks down. And you don't get the safety cars either because you haven't got the David Thextons and people like that crashing into stuff all the time, or the Mike Imrys that get in the way of Russell Ingall, and get turned around and cause. Although they didn't cause a safety car because I think that was actually as the race was finishing. But
not that Russell's still upset about it. 20 years on.
I don't know. I can't remember how much of a fine he got for that one. He seems to only care about the big fine ones because it cost him money.
So what's the proposal? How are we going to fix it?
Well, I've got a suggestion to actually help with qualifying with the problems that we have, say, at the Grand Prix, where we have these stupid 10-minute sessions, which granted they've got to fit in around Formula One, so we can't have big long sessions, etc. But we have 10-minute sessions with a 2-minute lap. So essentially, you've got to go out, do an out lap, a qualifying lap, and an in lap. So that's 6 minutes gone with a 10-minute session. So everyone, one run, done and dusted. My suggestion is what they do in IndyCar is they actually move the start-finish line to say before the last corner, or before the pit lane entry somewhere. So all you have to do is 3/4 of an out lap, and then you're straight into your qualifying lap. And then when you finish the qualifying lap, then you can pull straight into the pits. So at somewhere like the Grand Prix, instead of having to do essentially 3 laps to do 1 qualifying lap, you only have to do 2 laps to do 1 qualifying lap. So say somewhere there, you can have your short, sharp 10-minute sessions, and people can still quite easily get in 2 runs. Which at somewhere like Symmons Plains, that's 10-minute sessions, plenty enough. You can get in about. I was going to go more sarcastic and say 15, but you can get in a couple of runs there, no problem. But if we did something like this, now I'm not suggesting we do it at Bathurst. That's a bit sacred. I think Bathurst should have a big hour-long qualifying session or whatever, and then we have the top 10. Even go back to having where you have a Friday qualifying session and I'm trying to remember where. I think you had a Friday and a Saturday qualifying session before the top 10, whereas now we only have that 40-minute Friday session, and then the next time, we have the shootout. I think Bathurst should go back, maybe even have a qualifying session Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon if you don't want to have a qualifying session on Saturday morning. But that, they'll all get, it costs too much to run the cars and bullshit like that. So we won't see more track time at Bathurst. But then also, the cars are too good these days, so the people don't need time to...
No, that's right. Get them right.
These days, they go out on Thursday and they're doing like 4s or whatever on Thursday. Like, gone are the days where they used to build up to it. Like, you'd have, Larry Perkins or whatever going, oh, look at these dickheads trying to run an 11 or whatever on Thursday. Yeah. And they'd be cruising around doing 15s and then, in the race just sit
I think
there.
that's the thing now, though. The cars are so much better set up. Yeah, they're a lot more uniform. There's less variables.
Yep.
Yeah, so they just
Everyone's
put in the same setup as what
front end.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they put in the same specs as what they ran the previous year as a starting point or in the previous race, and then they know that the car's going to handle.
Yeah.
It's only small adjustments from there. So it's as technology gets better, this is one of the downsides.
Yeah. So we need to spice it up somehow.
So I think they should either go to shit tyres.
Or really good tyres.
Well, if they had really good tyres, then they're not going to have a problem. If they're on shit tyres, then they...
Yeah,
that's the thing now. The cars just handle so well that, there's less action during the race. To me, shit tyres is like low degradation tyres. Like, they're going to last the whole race. Oh, no.
That to me would be good for qualifying because you've got dick all grip, but it means you haven't got any degradation. I'd like to see, instead of whatever we have the soft and the super soft, which is ridiculous. We should have a super soft, like Formula One, like the ultra mega hyper soft or whatever, the purpley one. That is only going to last like 10 laps. And you can,
but there's a gain from it.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So in qualifying, you can go out and do your one blast of a lap. We see the guys right on the limit, but you're not going to get that far in the race. And then we actually see a bit of... Like, some of the best races were at Wanneroo before they resurfaced it. Which I'm not blaming Wanneroo for resurfacing it, because I understand all the club races that were whinging because, you'd go and spend $1,000 or whatever on a set of tyres for a track day that were shagged halfway through the day. So they wanted they wanted to upgrade the surface to keep, everyone happy for the other
51 weeks of the year that
exactly. But they were some of the best races. And we also did see, like, where Craig and Ludo did that strategy where everyone else was one stopping or whatever, and they did a 2-stop, and him charging through the field. That was. I think instead of doing this kind of knockout bullshit everywhere, it's got its place for like Simmons, where they bank up and everyone's trying to crash into each other. But I think there's look at tyres to spice things up probably rather than, trying to spice it up through the qualifying.
Or could they make it the qualifying is an event in itself? Yeah, so on the Fridays the qualifying is really a marquee event. You qualify for the first race, and then after that it's reverse grid.
That's a whole new kettle of fish.
I mean, Simona might come back to Supercars.
This isn't W Series.
Look, maybe that's what it takes.
Speaking of Simona.
Why not do it for a year and see what happens?
Well,
I mean, there's plenty of classes around the world that run reverse grid. Super trucks.
Which ones are they? The stadium ones?
I don't know, the actual super trucks. The Kenworths and all this that run around.
Do they still going?
Yeah, they're still going. They do their 3 or 4 events a year.
Yeah, we tried the.
You should watch my YouTube show, Super Trucks Talk.
I'll look that one up.
Yeah.
We did try reverse grids, mid 2000s.
On the Gold Coast with the international drivers.
No, they didn't do it there, did they?
No.
I do recall we had Dean Canto got to win a race.
He did.
And I think Cameron McConville got a win in there somewhere with reverse gridding. But I think generally though, the top guys did end up coming through to the front. Or you'd have someone like around the mid 2000s would have been Scaife having his bad days, and he probably ended up, finishing 18th or something in the first race and, charging through in the
second race,
reverse grid one.
Yeah.
Which does open up, Coulthard would be a good contender for front of the reverse grids, wouldn't he?
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, if Coulthard wasn't at DJR, he would still be renowned as a hit and run, accident prone.
Yeah.
If he was at BJR or...
He doesn't crash into much these days,
he
but he's not going fast enough to really crash these days.
Or trying hard enough.
It's hard.
I like him, so...
Do you?
More than Tander.
Yeah, but you hate Tander, so...
No, I do like Coulthard. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like a nice... I've never met him, so
yeah, no, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, but I would have... if it was up to me, I would have been trying to get Chaz or someone like that, someone hungry in that car. He doesn't seem to have that hunger now. He seems to... Yeah.
If Scotty goes to the States...
Yeah, then they replace him with Anton, and Anton takes over as the lead driver.
Yeah. You still need a second driver who can provide feedback on the car.
Yeah.
And I think, which team has got 2 full-blown A-grade superstars?
Triple Eight. Come on.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Jamie's getting old.
What was he? He was 3rd or 4th in championship this year?
Yeah.
They had 3 last year.
I know, but Craig is renowned for providing the best feedback, even as a second driver.
Yeah.
And he's selfless. That's how Jamie won so many championships. How many times did he get double stacked?
Well...
Are you going to edit out this bit? Or?
No, let the camera roll. Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's one of those things. I think Fabs is a bit hardly done by.
Oh, yeah. But it seems to be, if you're Scotty's teammate, you get Scotty, I suppose.
Well, that's the same as, at Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. It's the same thing that happened there when Vettel was there. Yeah, it happened.
Oh, we're talking about that Red Bull.
Yeah.
I got a bit. This Red Bull, the Formula 1 team. That
I like.
Yeah, unlike the Triple Eight Red Bull team.
Team Roland.
Yeah.
Not supporting.
I like Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I like Jamie as well.
Yeah.
Team owner.
Yeah, it's a bit hard when your co-drivers, your teammates, the team owner as well.
A bit like when Scaife was at
HRT. Yeah, he was smart. Sign up Todd Kelly as your teammate. So Todd was actually. It's funny if you look back at the results from like 2005 and that. Todd Kelly was.
Good driver.
He did bloody he won quite a few races. Over those, he was quite comparable to Scaife.
I don't remember much of Todd other than at Queensland Raceway when he blew an engine in his Ultima and he bent the steering wheel.
Not happy that day. If you haven't seen that, look it up. There's some expletives coming out of him.
Just a couple. All right, so have we solved qualifying or?
No, we just
So inshore qualifying is crap. I don't watch it. Yeah, I used to be someone who qualifying was what I watched.
But it's lost its spark.
Yeah.
Like, qualifying used to be really exciting. Like, because you would see the cars at full tilt. And like, I always say, like, going to the Grand Prix or something, I always used to recommend people go on a Saturday to watch the Formula One cars qualifying, because that's when they were at their top.
Yeah.
And that used to be a bit exciting, like with the supercars. But now as well, the cars seem to be, they're on rails.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Which comes in your idea of shittier tyres. Would be good to see them moving around a bit, or maybe we could just remove downforce instead of having these GT3 Mustangs out there, which now we've got GT3 Commodores.
What's going to happen? GT3 Camaro? Or?
I don't know. I'm really at a bit of a loss with this. I think
I saw an interview with
the Mustang Cup
with Ryan Walkinshaw.
Yeah,
and he said they did try and fit the Camaro body onto the car of the future, but it wouldn't work.
Well, he said that we had to Frankenstein it too much,
which the Mustang is as well, really.
Yeah, I don't think they did a bad job on the Mustang, considering the constraints.
Yeah, I think it looks good, but
I think also a lot of people got carried away with they were thinking of the Gen 1 of the new Mustang front, and then all of a sudden the Gen 2 came out as a supercar. I think a lot of people were thinking that the Mustang still had that more squarer front from the the first generation one that we got here as a right-hand drive.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of people were getting carried away with looks. Now, granted, they did take liberties and slope it a bit more than what.
But they had to do that to fit the cage, I think.
Yeah, I'm talking about the front. It was a little bit more aerodynamic than maybe what it should have been if they were playing in the same rules that the Kellys did with the Altima. Yeah. They, but...
Speaking of which, the Kelly, I don't know whether you've seen the Kelly Rode the Mustang video.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be, recommending people to check out other YouTube channels, but they are, it's actually pretty interesting.
They're great videos.
Yeah. And I am actually a Todd Kelly fan. I don't mind Rick either.
Ever since Rick ripped off Craig from that championship, I'm still a bit dirty on him. Yeah, that's okay. Todd seems good.
Yeah, so they actually, and Todd's the main performer on the, and Todd's quite a nice guy. And
it's interesting to see how they do the fab and really see the car built from ground up.
Yeah.
But you don't see that with any other team.
No, most of them keep it hidden, and I couldn't see Penske doing that for starters, and I think Triple Eight are pretty secretive as well. Whereas Kellys have really opened up their doors and showing. And it's quite interesting the changes to turn an Altima into a Mustang and things like that. Like, even though they're all running the same cage and everything, it is
all factory parts that they had to unpick and then weld.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. The amount of actual Altima stuff is on the car still. It's not just put on a new fiberglass shell. Which maybe that should have been something, or maybe we should look at that for Gen 3 or whatever, where it's the same underneath, but you can just slap a body shell on there quite easily, so you can swap in between. And things like, say, Erebus, when they went from Mercs to Holdens, instead of having to go and buy shit heaps from Walkinshaw, which somehow they made the Walkinshaw cars go faster than what Walkinshaw could. It was probably a bit of a kick in the teeth. But, you make them a little bit easy to swap between makes. And
how often would that happen, though? I mean, really?
Well, I can tell you, it's the Stone Brothers to the Erebus Mercs.
Yeah, but that was
the Erebus Mercs.
That's when you've got a new brand coming in, a new manufacturer.
Yeah, well, Erebus went from Merc to...
Yeah, because Mercedes...
Well, Mercedes never gave them any money.
No, but they got out of Mercedes, so that's fair enough. So Erebus, and then Kelly's.
Yeah, Jerem, which again, the team that used to be sponsored by Boost. Tanner used to drive for them until he got boosted out of the seat by Richie. That was a top decision, wasn't it?
Probably worked out well for him in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, well, he didn't get to win Bathurst this year, but
no,
I think if they didn't get Fabian,
Alright, we're getting off topic.
Well, it's easy to do here. How to fix qualifying. So
I don't think we've solved it.
No, well, we've talked about fixing the cars, take away downforce.
I think downforce, as much as the tyres thing is a slap-handed comment, I think downforce is the key.
Well, it's just take away grip.
The problem is the downforce across different manufacturers to get everyone aligned is difficult to change, whereas tyres is a quick...
Yeah, well, I mean...
So go a real hard tyre that will run for 40 laps,
and
then a super, super, super soft tyre that is just quick... the last 10 laps.
Yeah.
Give the team unlimited tyres and say good luck.
Yeah, although they're going to costs and whinge. But maybe also, go you either pick the hard or the soft, and then that's what you get for the race. Instead of, like they can't just bolt on a set of softs for qualifying and then bolt the hards on for the race. Like if you want to go out and qualify.
On softs, you have to race with softs?
Yeah.
So like in Formula 1 where whatever they... qualify in P2 or whatever
possibly,
then that's what they have to start the race on.
Yeah, but maybe make it that, if you qualify on that, and then you might get guys like, say, Scotty going, oh, well, we have to run on the hards this weekend, we'll go out and qualifying on the hards, and they end up knocked out of Q1 or whatever, and then you get someone from the back, I'm trying to think who's guaranteed to be up the back this year, Macaulay Jones, any of the Matt Stone racing triplets.
Team Sydney?
That's a hard one there, whether they've got budget or whether it's run on nothing again.
Given that, who was that partner that pulled out?
Rod Salmon. Yeah, it depends if Steve Webb puts money into the team again or whether they've got a sponsor. Because I think that's been the problem the last couple of years, that they've been running on the rec income and the whatever truck assist brought along, which was obviously something to do with Jack LeBrock. So I think they've probably been running on about a tenth of what
big teams run.
But Penske and that have been running on. So it depends what reports you hear. But they're going to be up the back anyway. Macaulay Jones is going to be up the back. He goes, oh, well, let's put on the soft tyre, and he ends up qualifying up the front somewhere, and maybe that's how we get a...
I think there has to be a big differentiator between the soft tyre and the hard tyre.
Well, that's the problem at the moment as well. Like
they're too close.
You've got soft and super soft, and...
Yeah,
they don't use them, the same ones at... And all this crap, like, where, we're not going to take the super soft to Pukekohe because it might explode or whatever. Well, if the dickhead, like at Phillip Island the other year, where the tyres were blowing up, if the dickheads want to put too much camber on them,
that's right.
let them blow up. Like, okay, it's not a good look for Dunlop, and they don't want their tyres blowing up on TV or whatever, but that's a bit of a side. Like, if they want to push them too far and they blow up, that's their own fault. Like, let them suffer the consequences. And then the guys who have done the right thing and run them safer, conservative, they get the results. Like, I don't see why we need to, because some dickhead wants to push the limit or whatever, that then everyone, we've got to be safe or whatever. I'm not saying let's, super trucks or whatever send tyres into the crowd. Like putting tethers on those kind of things is good. I'm not, but if a tyre delaminates, the chances of a bit
going over the fence.
Having said that, we had the shock going onto the balcony.
Through an outdoor table. It does happen. So really, tyres could be the quick fix.
Tyres would be a quick and easy fix. The technology's there to make some soft ones, make some hard ones.
Well, reach out to Todd Kelly and Todd's not on the commission anymore. No. Reach out to Neil Crompton and Croppo's not on the commission. Reach out to Roland.
Roland's not on there anymore.
Well, he might not be on there, but he's still the puppet master. So.
That was a convenient move. Yeah. Maybe we should get petition to get Barry Ryan on there.
Yeah, well, that'd be good.
Speaking of other things on YouTube, have you seen the for the Erebus documentary coming out? Oh, it's a pisser. You should watch that. Barry Ryan at his finest. Like, it's about 4-minute clip But there's an Erebus documentary coming out, I think it's February.
Yeah, okay.
It's a bit like the Drive to Survive thing, Formula One. So, what was it? Gunther Steiner became famous from that. I think Barry Ryan's going to become famous from this because he goes off his tree. So,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So,
Decision made.
Yeah, we're going to change tyres after all that. I had some great ideas about changing the start-finish line and things like that. But
I think tyres are a quick win.
Yeah, well, it's a lot easier. And the start-finish line thing is great, say, at the Grand Prix or the Bend.
Not every track's going to have the ability to do it.
No, so like as we had a quick discussion beforehand, and as we said, Bathurst. I don't think we should be touching qualifying at Bathurst. But where do you stop it at Bathurst kind of thing? Because you have people kind of cruising through the chase, and then guys going flat out and things like that. But say somewhere like Tailem Bend, if you had it before the last corner, really, you could get everyone shuffles over to the side to pull into the pit lane or whatever if you're pulling in and. Guys can take the racing line and it would work quite well there. The Grand Prix it would work as well, which is the main problem with qualifying. But then we could also bring the qualifying back to a shorter, sharper kind of, instead of having this extended knockout thing everywhere, we could say at Tailem Bend or something, have a 10-minute session and, watching them, really have a lot of pressure on there where... Like with the knockout thing as well, it seems that people have just got like 17 shots to try and get a lap in qualifying. So you obviously, by the time you get to the end, you've perfected it.
Yeah.
Whereas
it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it's always a bit of fun when you see Triple Eight cars struggling and then throwing about 50 springs and shocks at the car during a qualifying session, which probably won't happen as much next year either with the... I keep saying next, it's this year, people. We are in 2020. But with the control shock as well, we're probably not going to see all this variance, which once takes away a bit more of... everyone's kind of the same again. So we probably need something like the tyres to add a bit of... Spice. Yeah. We'd...
20% less grip in 2020.
2020. I'd be, as I think I've said in the video before, like they were going to take away, I think it was 13% downforce or some crap. Like we should be going for 50% less down. Like the wings should just be a show thing to make the cars look like they're a supercar. Maybe a bit of downforce underbody or whatever, but just let them
race.
Yeah, let them rate and the grip from the tyres.
Yeah.
Or lack of grip.
Yeah, that's right.
So, make it a bit of fun. So,
sounds good.
Yeah, we've solved qualifying by changing the tyres. So, until next time, I'll see you later.
Put away your inhibitions, let the beast in you just get loose. We all young, wild and different. We can all get lit from a little goose. I know you're terrified by what